Alrighty, Matty Johns joins us now, host of Morning Glory. Morning, Matty.
Miss off. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Doing better than my girlfriend after Friday night. She was a bit dusty on Saturday.
Mate, what a champ she is. Fantastic.
Yes, that's
really.
one word. She gets after
she's
it.
the best. She's a Jerry.
How was the podcast, Matthew? Were you happy with it?
Very, very good. Are you boys getting a bit of echo here?
I'm getting a little bit of Gordon. Yeah, I don't know what's I don't know what's yours.
Sorry, I'm just trying. I don't know if a tourist can help me out here. I'm just trying to put the hang on. Here we go. I want to push it down. Technology is not really my go.
Is that better?
That's better. That is better. Yeah, mate. It was awesome. Fletch, Missile was awesome, and I believe that he and Cooper locked horns again. Was it Saturday night?
Saturday night.
Oh,
yeah.
Cooper Johns was over at your joint.
Did Cooper give any feedback from the night, Matty?
I think, given the fact that he was out on Jackie O's boat all day, I think the fact that I said, what was missiles? He said, mate, it was awesome. I said, was Rose going off? And they said, mate, she was a little bit more subdued than she was on Friday. But he said it was very, very good. But I'm surprised he lasted that long, Missile. They had a long day in the sun.
He was struggling a little bit at the end there.
Matthew, let's talk about the trials over the weekend. I know that, as we say, it's a necessary evil. Are you putting a line through anyone, or are you just sort of thinking these trials we don't look too much into them?
Fletch, I reckon what it does sometimes, it measures, I reckon a lot of times, tactically, you get a good indication of if teams have had a good pre-season as far as how they want to play. I was really encouraged by the Bulldogs. I know the Storm put in a lot of young guys, but what impressed me about the Bulldogs is that they were so decisive. Everything you could see, they'd worked hard on basically a skeleton style of play, like what basically is going to make up the mainstay of how they'll play tactically, and everything will feed off that. And every time you could see them setting up for a certain sequence, and they go through with it, and it was very, very good sequences. But every player knew what was happening at the time. So tactically, they've had a really good pre-season. I thought if I had to say one side that concerned me a little bit, and once again, I can understand it's hard to say because they only they put in a lot of kids, but Cronulla was probably one concern. Is that they were up against Newcastle, and Newcastle beat them pretty convincingly. I think it's a big year for Cronulla. They've, the last couple of years they've been a really, really strong side, but the moment they got to the business end, they've struggled. So for them, it's about trying to work out a style of play and things that they're going to do along the course of the campaign, that when they get around August, they start to peak and start to beat some of those top sides. But I thought they struggled a little bit. I thought they were disappointing on the Saturday.
Can I just ask a question on Newcastle, Matty? They kind of left me with more questions than answers because young William Pryce looks so awesome in the halves. Jack Cogger came on and played in the halves. Pryce looks like a genuine first grader. He's an exciting player.
Yeah, he's a good player. His dad, Leon, was a really good player, as Fletch will tell you. Leon, had a huge amount of success at Bradford. Played for a long time in England. Was a very good player at the top level, international level. And he's a little bit like Will's a little bit like his dad in the fact that unorthodox player, really good, strong runner of the football. Yeah, he was really impressive. But you're right, Missile. I look at Newcastle over the last couple of years have been so heavy on with halves. And here we are again. Got Will. You got Jackson Hastings and Tyson Gamble. You got Jack Cogger there. And so it's sort of hard to work out, who's going to be who and who's going to play where. But, yeah, some good signs around Newcastle. The thing that encouraged me most on the weekend was the very fact that there was no Kalen, but they still look good. That's the next step for Newcastle, is the fact that in previous seasons, they've sort of like their success has been built on sand, because if Kalen's out, they struggle. If he's in, they look like a top four side. And so, for the coaching staff, it's about putting something in place that just doesn't rely on the very best players, or in particular Kalen.
Now, Matthew, I was with our boy today, Nathan Hindmarsh. So we're down there interviewing the Cronulla boys. Before we get into Nathan's performance over in Vegas, I was talking to the Cronulla boys, and we're just talking about trips away. And they were just staring at me like I was speaking another language. And I was flummoxed to say that half of them have never been on a trip away. Coming in, like I mean, a football trip away. I don't mean going out with their mate.
Yeah, of course.
But the football trips away, I think it was a rite of passage when I was a kid. Matthew, which is your favourite trip away? What year was it, and where did you go?
Do you know what, Fletch? I reckon my favourite one was I was about 18 or 19. I was playing under 21s, and we went to Cairns, just being around all the older blokes. And I got roomed with the great Mick McLean.
Oh, yeah.
Who's one of rugby league's greatest wild men. But fantastic guy. And, mate, we just had the best time there. It was just it was just awesome. Then another time we went to Darwin one year, 94. Like, I recommend it. Certainly that to teams. You want to go away. Darwin was awesome. It was so good.
I just don't see that. They were just looking at me like staring blankly, saying, like, why? What's so good about it? I think they spend so much time. This is what I was thinking. I was driving home quite lonely and in that rain. And I was still sort of agitated by it. I think because they see so much of each other that at the end of the season they just want to go away from that gang.
Yeah, but Fletch, you think about this. So how much time do we spend together through the season? Like at least 4 days a week. We're together and doing stuff. Yet when we went to Vegas, went to Kenny Nagus, it was just awesome. And then when we all landed back in like Sydney, we're all texting each other saying, God, that was good, boys. Jeez, I miss you blokes already. It was all happening.
Yeah, well, that was Heidi coming down from the highs of parading out in front of. So we couldn't really talk about this until it was aired. And last night, goodness me, I don't remember half of that, but far out he was very impressive, Nathan.
Fletch, Coop was just watching it then. We were sitting there. I was extremely nervous, Fletch, because I went to bed early and it came on. I went, oh, geez, here we go. And I'm sitting there. I can hear Trish and Jack. They're out there watching it. And I'm going, because we hadn't seen the finished product. And I'm going, what is on? But luckily, they were just laughing all the way through it. There was no, Matt, come here. Now, what are you doing here? But it was. I said, you know what? I said to Trish, I don't want to get all emotional here. Like, honestly, there was so much estrogen going through me. I
think you gave some of that to Hindy after what I saw.
Actually, he gave some to me. Anyway, I said to Trish, what did you think? She goes, it was just so good. I went, okay, that's good. I said, what did you like so much about it? She goes, you know what? She goes, when she came back from the gym this morning, 3 push-ups, tricep push-ups, it's about I think all she does. And she goes, everyone, like a lot of the people at the gym watched it, and they said, what we love so much about it is how much the boys get on, how good a time they have.
Hang on, get on what? Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, chemistry, sorry.
Chemistry.
Gotcha.
That's it.
Gotcha.
Yes, and one of the people she went to the gym with, that woman, her husband, she said that the husband said, I would do anything to go on a trip with those two blokes again. And I thought to myself, Fletch, maybe it should be a yearly thing.
Oh, I think so. And we can open it up to the public.
Open it for the public.
Maybe we could team up with, say, a chocolate bar, and it's like, say, Kit Kat. And it's a bit like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and you open it up, and you've got the golden ticket.
Ooh, I love it.
And you get up, and you get out of bed, and you've got your grandmother and your grandpa, Joe, in bed, and you get out, and we take them for the time of their lives. I'm going to speak to some people at Kit Kat, or maybe not even Kit Kat, maybe Violet Crumble. I think that's probably more a metaphor for us.
Is the Crunchy still a thing? Crunchy still around?
Crunchy, dog shit.
Well, Polly Waffle's back, you know that.
In it white.
And the chocolate bar as well.
Yes. If you want to go through down this little alley.
Route,
or route, if you're in America, or you're at a Polly. The route, I would say, underestimated. And this is going to be
controversial.
And criticised.
Just clip it.
Bounty.
Clip it.
The Bounty.
Oh, the Bounty. I love the Bounty.
So do I.
Yeah, love the
All
love
right.
the coconut.
So this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk to Bounty next year. Should we go to Vegas again, Matthew?
Yeah, I reckon we should, Fletch. Probably not as long. Probably not 8 days.
No.
Probably we go somewhere else. A couple of days, Colorado or something like that. That'd be the Jerry.
Colorado.
Maybe,
South is always very interesting.
Nashville.
Yeah,
I wanna
Nashville,
go to Nashville.
Austin.
Yeah.
Go south, Alabama. South
Okay.
is
Alabama
interesting.
would be good.
But getting back to Nathan, yeah, he certainly stole the show.
I couldn't
amazing.
believe, Matty, when they put that spray tan on. Geez, it brought out some muscles in him, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
It did. He looked good. Just shows you, doesn't it? You know, you get the tan up, and mate, he did do the crunch, and they did like it was basically fake abs.
Yeah,
But,
right.
Mate, it was. I watched it just before. It's so good. It
Did
was
he do
every
any
bit
push-ups
as good
or
as I
anything?
remember.
Yeah, he was doing push-ups.
Was he?
Yeah, he was doing some push-ups.
Was he?
They all do.
Do they?
There's weights in the dressing room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the boys get really... I thought they might have done because you know how the catwalk models get the white bread? They damp it, they spray it, and they mould it downstairs. That's what models do.
Yeah,
so
right.
I thought that would be a big go for them. Not for our man. Our man doesn't need the white bread at all.
Do they fully nude up at any point, or is it all G-string?
No, it was all
Close.
Yeah, we were searching.
Geez,
were
they're
searching.
good blokes. Geez,
Champions.
they're good fellas. Mate, our man Malik
Yeah.
and Shiraz and a few of the boys, just great guys. And, well, I tell you, Brooksy, the guy who Matt, who runs it, the guy who is basically
Joe.
the MC.
That's
He's
Joe.
Yes. We call him Brooksy.
Yeah.
We showed it before, and Cooper goes, Cooper's girlfriend, Kenna, goes, hang on, he was over here the other day talking about Luke Brooks. And I went, well, we said the same thing about how much he looks like Luke Brooks.
Yeah.
He runs a tight ship, that bloke.
He does. He can't get away with much.
Oh,
Do you
mate, very
think?
good.
Do you think the Yanks are going to get on board, or do you think they'll just be? Because I was trying to explain it to people. You got to understand when you go to Vegas, you're just going there for the entertainment. You're going for the punting. You're going for the U2 who are going to play on Friday night. Do you think the Yanks would be curious, or are we sort of? You know, it's going to take a few more years.
Fletch, I reckon I think there'll be curiosity. But, like, I'm not going to do an AFL and go, oh, mate, you know, like they did with China with, you know, going, mate, they're just going to fall in love with our game. Like, there's no doubt Peter V'landys, his plan is it's all about the gambling dollar. And anything else apart from that really is a bonus. But the sports are. I mean, NFL and if people in America are fanatics of the NFL, if they would just understand the rules of NRL, and you're exactly right, Bezzy, when you said the biggest thing we have to do in this country to make it grow is don't use the word rugby league, call it NRL, because it just gets lost. It's all rugby, which I know it's a style of rugby, but in a lot of ways it holds it back, not really giving a clear indication of what it is. So I look.
Well, the only thing, this is my
you don't
issue.
know.
If they call it rugby, they'll get because people are just all about YouTube and Google now. If you type in rugby and you punch
Too
it in,
messy.
you're going to get. You're
We
going
all
to
know
get wallabies.
A million things.
There's no one
That's
in
right.
rugby who could produce a documentary like Sin City that the NRL did.
No,
No, absolutely not.
Oh yeah, John Eales in his day.
Oh,
John
I don't
Eales and
believe it.
yeah, John Eales and
Yep.
Sterling.
Nick Farr-Jones.
Nick Farr-Jones, Sterling
Yeah.
Mortlock.
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
Gloves on or gloves off?
I tell you who else? Tony Daly. Tony Daly, get up front.
Oh,
You should see him do the
Yeah,
wristwatch. He does Tiger in the Sunset.
And who's your man? Who's your man? Lost all the timber. What's his name?
Oh, Matt Dunning.
Dunning.
Yeah, he's a leaguey,
Yeah,
though.
he'd be good, mate. There's a lot of those blokes from those. The other big bloke up. Oh, I'm trying to think of his name.
Garrick Morgan.
There's Gary Morgan could do it, but there's another bloke. I'm trying to think of his name. Anyways, it doesn't matter. By the by. But yeah, it's such a great promotion, mate. He's just so clever, Peter V'landys. We say it all the time, but he is. I mean, what he's doing with the PNG thing and how he's got the Americans involved there, and he's just always thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead.
Are we
So,
worried about the field being 6.2 metres more
I
narrow?
am.
Because I'm looking in the studio now. It's about 6 metres. This is a lot. I think we might have to go down to 12 men.
Fletch, I totally agree. This is the one sticking point that really worries me, is the fact that they have to, rather than being a 10 metre, it's got to be a 12 metre. and it's got to be fast rucks.
You mean the dead ball line?
No, I'm talking about pulling the teams apart.
Yeah.
If it's traditionally normal timed or
control the ruck,
play the balls, and it's a standard 10, then there's going to be no football played.
There'll be no points. It's going to be no points.
It'd be you'd think it'd be low scoring, but the big thing, the field won't be able to be open up for people like Reece Walsh, who you want to see, and Tom Trbojevic and so on. They've just got to speed the rucks up. They've got to pull them apart about 12, 13 metres, because 6 metres, Fletch, 3 metres either side is one defender.
Yeah.
Like basically, so if if that's what it's going to be, then basically it's almost like with 3 metres shaved either side. On a traditional field, it's like 15 a side. It is like a little bit like Union.
And then they don't want to start penalising because the product will be ruined. You want it free flowing. So if the referee says, we've got the me mode to speed the ruck up.
Yeah.
But if they start penalising, the Yanks will just go, what is this shit?
Well, see, the thing about this too, they've got to understand, the league, is that all the teams the 4 sides that are going there at the moment are training on a reduced field. So they're already working out defensive tactics rather than attacking tactics, defensive tactics to actually make the guy to try to squander the opposition. And so they've got to, if they want it to be the best it can be, they've got to just drag the teams apart. Maybe just send 12, Simbin one occasionally, 2, 12 aside.
That's right, drop-offs.
Matty, the other game over the weekend, the All-Stars match on Friday night, what did you make of that game? And with this new NRL pre-season challenge, does it still have a place in the game?
Look, Missile, it has got a place in the game. I think we've got to have a little bit of a talk about where it sits sometimes. You don't want to get lost because you see how much it means to the players, like how much culturally it means to the Indigenous and the Maori players. It's important that it continues on. You don't want it, Missile, to become the Pro Bowl in America, which used to be a serious game. Now it's flag football. It just has no meaning whatsoever. You don't want that. Look, we were talking about this last Friday on Morning Glory. We said there is a discussion to having, you got the grand final qualifiers, you have a week off, and then you have the grand final. For a couple of things, best players to get over injuries, exhaust suspensions that might have taken place for minor infringements, and in that space, that's when you start to play certain games. You've had the Indigenous All-Stars, Maori All-Stars. You can have certain test matches. You can do a touch football game, maybe like the best of the NRLW and the NRL up against each other. Whatever you want to do.
We're going to have to.
That's where it would fit.
Matthew, we're winding you up, but good tip on the footballer, The Crash and His Wife. Awesome. It's on Netflix. Fox. It's on Foxtel. Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you,
My
Matthew.
pleasure, boys.
Godspeed to you.
And same to you. Bears your Missile.
No problem.